Imagine a world where trust is earned not through words but through silence, where a frightened animal finds hope in the most unexpected place. What happens when a young girl, who hasn't spoken in years, becomes the only one who can reach a blind Mustang no one else could save? Stay tuned to hear this heartwarming story. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment below sharing your thoughts. Stories like these remind us of the power of connection and healing. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. In a small valley nestled in the foothills of Montana, there lived a farmer named Robert and his daughter Lily. Lily was 15 years old, but hadn't spoken a word since an accident 2 years earlier that had left her deeply traumatized. Her father, Robert, watched helplessly as she withdrew further into herself each day. Life seemed bleak until something extraordinary happened. One night, under the light of a full moon, a desperate call came from the nearby rescue center. A wild Mustang stallion, now blind after being captured during a government roundup, had arrived at the facility. They called him Shadow because he moved silently, unpredictably, and with fierce resistance to anyone who approached. For months, the staff tried everything they could think of: gentle voices, food bribes, even calming music. But nothing worked. Shadow remained aggressive, dangerous, and completely untrusting of humans. The board overseeing the sanctuary was on the verge of making a heartbreaking decision: euthanasia. Robert knew he had to do something. He remembered hearing about how Lily used to love sketching animals before her accident. Maybe spending time near Shadow would help both of them heal? So, early the next morning, he drove Lily to the rescue center. As they approached Shadow's paddock, the air was tense. Staff members warned them to stay far away, fearing for their safety. But Lily didn't seem afraid. She simply stood by the fence, watching Shadow intently, her sketchbook clutched tightly in her hands. Shadow sensed her presence immediately. His ears twitched, and he turned toward her, not aggressively but curiously. Everyone held their breath as Lily slowly crouched down, placing her sketch pad on the ground. For hours, she drew quietly, never speaking, never moving too close. And Shadow? He stopped pacing. Instead, he stood still, listening to the faint scratch of pencil against paper. It was as if he understood that this quiet girl meant no harm. Day after day, Lily returned to the paddock. Each visit brought new progress. One afternoon, while sketching, she reached out her hand ever so slightly. Shadow hesitated, then cautiously stretched his neck forward until his nose touched her fingertips. A collective gasp rose from the staff watching nearby. It was the first time Shadow had willingly interacted with a human. Tears streamed down Lily's face, though she made no sound. Something inside her had shifted. As weeks passed, Shadow began trusting Lily more and more. He allowed her to brush his coat, guide him around obstacles, and even lead him to water. In return, Lily started opening up again, not with words at first, but through her drawings and gestures. Slowly, she began whispering to him, her voice soft and hesitant. "You're safe now," she'd say. "I'm here." Word of their bond spread quickly. Soon, experts from across the country visited the rescue center to witness what many thought impossible: a once violent Mustang finding peace with a girl who couldn't speak. Even skeptics were moved when they saw how Shadow responded to Lily's gentle guidance. He wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. But challenges lay ahead. The ultimate goal was always to reintegrate Shadow into a herd of his own kind. Though Lily had helped him regain confidence, the idea of separating them felt unbearable for both of them. Yet, everyone agreed it was necessary. Shadow needed to belong among other horses, just as Lily needed to find her place among people again. The transition wasn't easy. On the first day of integration, Shadow grew anxious, calling out repeatedly for Lily. She stayed close by, encouraging him from afar. "It's okay," she murmured, tears streaming down her cheeks. "They'll take care of you now." Over time, Shadow adapted. With Lily's support, he formed bonds with other horses, learning to communicate and trust them despite his blindness. Months later, Shadow became a leader within his new herd. He guided younger horses, protected weaker ones, and showed newcomers how to navigate their surroundings. Meanwhile, Lily found her voice, not just literally but figuratively. She started attending school regularly, joined clubs, and even gave presentations about her experience working with Shadow. Her courage inspired countless others. On her final visit to the rescue center, Lily stood at the edge of the pasture, watching Shadow gallop alongside his herd. Though her heart ached, she smiled knowing she'd given him exactly what he needed: freedom. Turning to her father, she whispered, "He's home now." Moral lesson: sometimes healing comes not from fixing what's broken, but from understanding and accepting it. True strength lies in giving others a space to grow while finding your own path forward. If this story touched your heart, please hit the subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments below. Every story deserves to be heard, and yours might inspire someone else today.